Hello my friends, the movie today is very nice and very beautiful and wonderful girls, and you will like it a lot. And it starts with 12 princesses who are in their room and living a nice life. And the king's advisor enters and sees a strange hole in the princess's shoes. And this is not the first time that this has happened. And we see that Princess Amanda's shoes only have no hole. Then we see the king angry and screaming hard because he knows that his daughters hide a secret from him, but he does not know what it is. And we see him sitting very sadly and regretting the death of his wife, who died a few days ago, and also talking to his advisor and telling him it's very necessary that they know the secret of his daughters. But the evil advisor tells the king that your daughters do not love you and do not care about your feelings. And the king gets angry more and then gathers his daughters around him again to know the reason for piercing their shoes in this suspicious way. And one of the girls tells him maybe the mouse pierced the shoe that way. But the king yells at her because she was lying. Then we see an apathetic young man and a beggar named Antoine, and he asks a lady to give him some milk and drink that milk and walks in the forest. And we see him accompanied by an old lady trying to help her. But that lady understands Antoine well and does not give him anything of what he wants. And she is surprised to see a strange ring with Antoine and tells her that this ring is the only thing that his family left before they took him to the shelter. Then he carries the old lady and delivers her to the market for nothing. And then they are surprised to see the king's advisor jumps off the castle wall in an attempt to end his life. Then the king ordered to fix the princess's shoes. Then the king asks his advisor to hire someone to discover the secret of the princesses. And they are shocked and they beg their father not to do that because anyone who comes to watch them dies after 3 days because he didn't discover the secret. And they feel sad and do not want anyone to die because of them. Then we see Antoine again doing a play with puppets to earn some money, and the king's advisor sees him and feels that he is a very good person for the new mission and goes to talk to him and tries to entice him with money and tells him if you succeed in your mission, you will marry all the king's daughters and you will become the next king. The old lady who Antoine helped before hears them and tells him that if you succeed in the mission, you will become the king, but if you fail, you will be executed immediately. And here Antoine refuses the mission. Then we see the king punishing all the girls and putting them in a prison, and they are making a black fabrics to mourn the death of their mother and hang them on the walls. And the Princess Amanda sees Antoine by chance and is attracted to him a lot, and also Antoine sees her and likes her very much. And after sees her, Antoine decides to accept the task and enters the palace in order to see her beautiful eyes, although he may die afterwards. And here the old lady gives him a black robe that contains a strange ability, and that he disappears after wearing it, and advises him not to drink from the wine that the girls will give him. And finally, the advisor enters the palace, accompanied by Antoine, and the advisor tries to convince the king that Antoine is a very good person for this task. And here we see the princesses looking at him and laughing and knowing that this person is impossible to discover their secret. After that, they watch him and see that he is tidying up his room, and here they pour him a glass of wine and put a hypnotic in it. And the Princess Amanda enters to him and gives him wine, and Antoine takes the cup from her, but he remembers the old woman's words. And when Princess Amanda does not pay attention, he throws the wine and claims that he has drunk it, and also claims that he has slept deeply. And the Princess Amanda comes out of his room. Antoine wakes up immediately and wears a black robe and actually disappears and goes to the princess's room and is surprised by a very bright light coming from their room. And Antoine enters their princess's room and also enters the light source coming from the mirror and reaches a completely white place, but it is very scary and full of snow. And the princesses run and have fun, and he feels that they are waiting for someone. to come to them, and Antoine continues to watch them, but unfortunately his black robe hanged on one of the tree's branches, and therefore leaves the place immediately, before the princesses noticed his presence in their white world. Antoine returns to his room and sleeps, and in the morning the king's advisor wakes him up and tells him that you have only 2 days left to discover the secret, and we hear the king screaming hard because he knows that Antoine was sleeping and has not discovered the secret of the princesses yet. And the sound of the king's scream reaches all the residents, and they feel very frightened by this loud voice. And we see Antoine carrying the branch that remained in his robe, and the shape of this branch is very strange. Antoine is very shocked when he learns that the king has ordered the preparation of the execution stage, even though he is still on his first day of the mission. And Princess Amanda comes to him and tries to console him because she feels very sad for him because he will lose his life because of them. But Antoine looks into her eyes and admires her beauty, and we see the princesses laughing hard and mocking Amanda and saying that she loves Antoine. But Amanda screams at them all and tells them to shut up because they are in mourning for their mother. And then we see their father, the king, watches them from above and is very sad, and returns to his sad room and looks at the picture of his wife and her dress, and is sad because she left him and left these princesses for him. And then we see the king talking to his advisor and telling him that he is optimistic about Antoine, although Antoine has fun and sleep all the time. But this time, it's possible that one of them will discover the secret of the princesses, and the advisor will be very upset because he wants Antoine to fail, and he will seize the kingdom and the princesses and try to annoy the king with his words in order to execute Antoine sooner than the agreed time. But the king refuses to do so. The next night we see Amanda offering the drink to Antoine, who immediately throws it away without paying attention and claims to have fallen asleep. And we see Amanda feeling sad and looking at Antoine sadly because he will lose his life because of them. But she returns to her sister, and they start with their beloved rituals and hold each other's hands and enter the mirror where the white word is. And we see that Antoine watches them and immediately follows them and sees them moving around and dancing beautifully. But Antoine is shocked by the presence of 11 young princes in the form of ghosts, and that princesses come into this world to meet princes, dance with him and make love. And then we see that the princesses have boarded a boat and left, and Antoine breaks a new branch and returns to his room, and the advisor wakes him up the next day and tells him that he stayed with him only 1 day, and the princesses feel sad and they want to help him. But Amanda does not accept and tells them that Antoine may betray us, and he can. This should remain a secret between them, and they decide that it's impossible for them to give up seeing their princess and making love with them. And if their father knows about this, he will punish them and prevent them from seeing their princess again. So they agree that they don't help Antoine. The princesses say the solution is that Amanda marries Antoine, so the number is complete and all the princes return to our world. But Amanda does not agree because she will not marry someone she doesn't love. And on the last night, Amanda offers him a drink, but she feels very sad and holds the cup strongly so that Antoine does not take it. But Antoine takes the cup from her and she returns to her sisters again, and they prepare to leave. But Amanda returns to say goodbye to Antoine because he will die tomorrow morning. And they enter their white world, and every princess dances with the prince except Amanda sits alone. And we also know that this is the reason for the hole in their shoes. But the surprise, we see that Amanda began to dance alone and very beautifully, and everyone is surprised by this. And here we see Antoine undercover and dance with Amanda. And the next morning all the princesses stand in front of Antoine, and the king asks him if he discovered the secret of the princesses. But Antoine does not answer because he wants the princesses to remain happy even if he kills him, and asks the king to ask the princesses if they want to admit something. But the princesses remain completely silent, and Antoine gives the king the branches he brought from the white world. He tells him that he knew everything, but he will never talk, and the princesses are shocked a lot, and the king rejoices because Antoine discovered the secret even if he does not tell him. this is enough now, and tells him to choose one of the princesses as his wife. But Antoine says he will only marry her out of love, and then tells Amanda that her dance with him yesterday was very amazing, and says that he does not want the king's throne, and leaves. The princesses convince Amanda to confess her love for Antoine, and indeed, Amanda goes to him and tells him that she loves him, and suddenly all the ghost princes come because the number is complete with Antoine, and they marries all of the king's daughters, and Antoine marries Amanda, and they all live happily life. And this is how the movie ends. Share your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive everything new. Miss Lambada was with you. Goodbye, my friends.